So spring anime 2023 has come to an end, and now we're heading into summer anime 2023. And there's a lot of sequels and there's a lot of new animes that I've seen a lot of people really excited for. But if there's one series that I don't plan on seeing this anime season of summer 2023 is Rurouni Kenshin. Now Rurouni Kenshin is going to get a reboot and is going to be coming up in the anime season of summer 2023, and is being produced by Lion Films, the same studio that gave us Tokyo Revengers, Call of the Night, and the other series that I've been watching most recently in spring 2023, and that is Insomniacs After School. So yeah, it's very clear that it does have a solid studio that's going to be making this series, and based on the trailer, it does seem very solid. However, unfortunately, I have no plans of watching this series, and that is because the creator of Rurouni Kenshin is a terrible, disgusting person. I don't usually make these kind of videos in which I talk about the terrible things a terrible person has done, but this is an exception because this guy's work is getting an anime reboot, and I feel like a lot of people need to know who this person is, because once you know his history, you may reconsider watching this series. Now, of course, this video is going to contain a lot of heavy subjects, so if you're not used to that kind of stuff or you're not comfortable hearing these kind of things, then you have been warned, because I am going to be talking about things that are very serious. And of course, since I'm not going to be supporting this guy or any of his work, I am going to be using gameplay, which I rarely use, but this is an exception because I don't want to use any clips or any manga panels from this guy's work, because this guy does not deserve it. So with that, let's talk about the manga author who committed a horrible crime. So, Rurouni Kenshin's creator goes by the name of Nobuhiro Watsuki. Now, that's his pen name. His actual name is actually Nobuhiro Nishiwaki, and he is the creator of Rurouni Kenshin. He is the one who made the story, who made the characters. Basically, he's the one who created Rurouni Kenshin and the entire world of that story. And it's very clear he had some talent because his series went extremely popular. So popular, in fact, that his series actually sold over 70 million copies. Now, of course, that is a huge number, and it's very clear that a guy knew how to write a manga series. This series became so popular that it even received an anime adaptation back in the days, and has gotten a few live action adaptations. So yeah, this series has become very popular and has made a name for itself. And of course, not to mention that he was actually a mentor for other manga authors as well. He was the mentor for the creator of One Piece, Eiichiro Oda, Hiroyuki Takei, the creator of Shaman King, and Shinya Suzuki, who is the creator of Mr. Full Swing. So it's very clear that he knew how to be a mentor, because some of these manga authors will come out to be very successful, and their series would really be successful as well. And it's probably thanks to the things that he probably teach them and the things that he taught them of how to make a good manga series. Now, with all these accomplishments, you would think that this person would not commit a crime. He would not do anything that could either jeopardize his entire manga career and can ruin his entire reputation. But unfortunately, that's exactly what this person did. This person committed the most disgusting crime any human being can do. On November 2017, police found DVDs that contained footage of naked girls in their early teens. After the police discovered all this disgusting material, the police then raided his home to see if he had any more of this material, to which he actually did have. In fact, he actually had more in his house than he had in his office, as he had about 100 DVDs that contained CP. After this disgusting discovery, the police immediately arrested him, and of course, he was sent to the police station to be questioned. And something that is worth mentioning is that this guy in 2017 was already 47 years old. So we have a middle-aged man that's already in his late 40s caught having illegal material. And if things couldn't get any worse, when he was being questioned, not only did Watsuki admit that all this disgusting material was his, but he was very open to the police by telling them the kind of girls that he liked. And I'm going to use a clip from the video by a YouTuber that goes by the name of Turkey Tom, who also talked about this situation and talked about other situations of manga authors committing horrible crimes. And after you listen to what he said, I hope you all realize what kind of garbage human being we're dealing with and why I have no interest in any of this guy's work.
After his arrest, he was charged and interrogated, almost instantly admitting to it and confessing, even specifying his own preference and content to the officers. I liked girls in the higher grades of elementary school to the second grade of junior high.
So after this information went public, his serialization of Rurouni Kenshin, the Hokkaido arc, was actually put on hold after this information went public, and of course he was charged for possession of CP. But even after all this happened, sadly this guy pretty much got away with it. He didn't actually face any consequences of his actions, as we come to find out while he was convicted, his only punishment was just simply to pay a fine which was 200,000 yen, which equates to 1,500 US dollars. That's it. He didn't even spend one day in jail. He didn't even have to go to jail because of what he did and all the illegal materials that he had, not only in his office but also at his house. And let me remind you, this guy had 100 DVDs of this disgusting material in his house, and when he was questioned, he admitted to the police that it was his, and also told the police that he was into underage people. It wasn't even a punishment, it just seems more like a slap to the wrist, which is really disgusting to see, as it sadly is a case of someone committing a horrible crime and getting away with it. And to make things even more infuriating, on June 2018, it was revealed that his serialization of Rurouni Kenshin, the Hokkaido arc, was going to be continuing, meaning that this guy was still able to create more manga. So not only did he receive no punishment whatsoever for what he did, but he was still able to have a job. He was still able to continue his manga series as if nothing has happened. It's so infuriating to see how this guy, who was charged and convicted of possession of CP, was still able to not only still have his job as a manga creator, but he is a free man. He's able to be part of society as if nothing he did was a big deal. It's so really shocking to see how this guy got away with it after finding out all the things that he had, not only in his office and his house. This isn't a case of someone having allegations against him. This isn't a case of someone speculating of what this person did. No, this person has already been convicted. This is on his record. It's 100% proven that this person did what he did. He had possessions of illegal materials, yet he's able to walk out of the streets and have a normal life like as if nothing happened. And that's the frustrating part, is that these kind of people like Watsuki, are people who should not be around the streets and shouldn't be able to have a normal life after they commit these terrible crimes. After you have been caught with this kind of material, you need to be in jail for a long time. Like, this is not like an exaggeration. Like, I feel like these kind of people, the people who have this disgusting material, should not be allowed freedom. They should be in jail for a good portion of their life, because this kind of people should not be able to be part of society. These kind of people should not be giving another chance, because who knows, they might do it again. Since they got away with it the first time, they might do it again. And even though there hasn't been any reports that Watsuki has done it again, as far as I could tell, it doesn't change the fact that he already did it. He is already a disgusting person. He is a monster. He is somebody that you should stay away from. And this is why I am not going to be watching or reading any of Rurouni Kenshin. Like, I've seen so many people like hyping this series up because it's going to get rebooted, because I've seen so many people say how they've been fans of this series for a while and how they actually enjoyed the original anime that came out way back then. So yeah, it has a fan base. Rurouni Kenshin does have a fan base, but sadly I can't watch this series or read it without reminding myself this is created by a person who had illegal material in their office and in their house. I just can't ignore that fact. And I know there's going to be some people who are going to say separate the art from the artist kind of thing, but this is not one of them. Like, there are some situations where you could make that excuse, but this is not one of them. This is not a case of you being able to use this excuse, because I just can't ignore the fact that this person is a garbage human being, because having this material is something no human being should ever have. This kind of thing is not allowed. Like, I don't care if he has stated that he regrets doing this. I don't care, because he did it. He chose to have that kind of stuff. He chose to have that stuff in his office and in his house. And let me remind you once again, he was very open about it to the police. So there's no redeeming this guy. This guy cannot possibly redeem himself after what he's done. I know there's going to be some people who are going to tell me that I'm being too harsh on this guy, but no, this guy deserves it. This guy should not be part of society. This guy should not be able to live a normal life anymore after what he has done. These kind of people should not be part of society. These kind of people suck. They're terrible. They shouldn't exist. And the only true victims in this case are those kids. The kids that were used to make this disgusting material. Those are the true victims. Not Watsuki. It's those kids that were used to make this disgusting material. Those are the true victims of this case. And I'm hoping for the best for those kids. Hopefully they're in a better place. Hopefully they're able to have happy lives, because those kids deserve it. I can't imagine the psychological trauma that they must be going through. But once again, I wish nothing but the best for those victims. And with those reasons alone is the reason why I am not going to be watching Rurouni Kenshin 2023. I know I'm not going to be able to stop everybody from watching the anime, because no matter what, there's always going to be people who are going to watch the anime regardless if they know about the author, and that's just something that's going to happen. I can't stop everybody from watching the series. It's not possible for that to happen. And of course, This is not me saying that you should go attack the voice actors or the animators of Rurouni Kenshin, as they probably have nothing to do with this series, being rebooted. They had nothing to do with it. So, I'm just throwing that out there before someone decides to go after the animators, the voice actors, the people who are making the music, because they had nothing to do with it. They're not the ones who make the final decision as to what animes are brought back and which aren't. So, just throwing that out there before someone goes after them, because they don't have anything to do with it. Don't go after these people. So yeah, hopefully now people know why I am not going to watch Rurouni Kenshin. So don't expect any videos from me. Don't expect any discussions or theories or stuff like that. I am not going to be talking about this series whatsoever. And I know there might be moments in which I see other people talking about this series and they get a lot of views, but for me, I don't really care about that. I think morals are more important than views, in my opinion, in this case. And there's a reason why I have huge respects for other creators who do it as well. Like, for example, there's this channel that goes by the name of Deadbeat, and the owner of the channel is named James. Now, James has always been told to make a video about this horror movie that's called Jeepers Creepers. Because, for those who don't know, this channel specializes in talking about horror movies and stuff like that. But James has been very open in public that he is not going to be talking about this movie or even making a video about it whatsoever. And that is because the creator of Jeepers Creepers is a disgusting person as well. I'm not going to go into details, but yeah, that whole thing is messed up as well. The guy who made Jeepers Creepers is also a disgusting human being who should not exist.
The last specific request I want to address is Jeepers Creepers. People have always requested Jeepers Creepers because I understand a lot of you really love that movie. And that's cool, man. That can be like your favorite movie. That's fine. But I'm not going to be covering it on the kill count. As you probably know by now, the guy who made the Jeepers Creepers movies, Victor Salva, is a convicted child molester. Like, that's convicted, not accused. He is convicted. In 1988, he molested a 12-year-old boy who starred in one of his movies. He also filmed himself doing it and then was also found in possession of other child pornography. And while he was sentenced to like 3 years, which is weird to begin with, he only served 15 months. And I know some people are like, hey, he served his time, like you can enjoy his movies. That's not enough for me, man. 15 months for fucking up that kid's life? Nah.
Movies I've initially said I would never cover on the kill count that I've come around to. Not like films made by still living abusers. Fuck you, Victor Salva. Roman Polanski, I'll cover your movies when you're dead.
And that's why I have huge respects for James as a creator, because he chose not to watch that movie. He chose not to even make a video about that movie, because even though the movie, from what I've seen, a lot of people say it's a good movie, the person who made it is terrible. So yeah, I have huge respects when people do that, when they choose morals over money and views, because it goes to show us that there are still people in this world that have morals. So yeah, just want to throw that out there. And that's pretty much my entire video. Hopefully the next video that I make is more lighthearted, because yeah, this is a very messed up case that I cover. But yeah, that's about it. See you next time.